Come on, everybody, let's start the show. A quick ahoy hoy and away we'll go. Richard's got a minifig and Flynn's got a pin. The gang's all here and it's time to begin. Tricky Bricks roll call. Moto, Holly, Kara, and sometimes Blair, Clicky, Logan, Ms. Thing and Angela, and Thunderman Ho! Now you're here to grab your bricks and let's go to the Tricky Bricks Build and Chat Show! Ahoy hoy, friends! Happy Friday! Hope you're all having a good one. I am here, as you can see, by myself because Richard is working today, so he's not able to join us, unfortunately, but I'm sure since he's just over there, he'll probably be popping in every once in a while from the crypt to give commentary or some such. But anyway, hope you all are having an awesome start to the weekend. It's going to be a good one. We've got lots of things to do. I'm excited. This weekend, I'm finally going to get to meet up with my friend Tim Heydrich, who's an amazing Lego designer, and also he's done a lot of the kits that they do at Bricks LA. As a matter of fact, I think I have one handy here. Let's see. No, I don't. Oh, yes, I do. Sorry, here we go. So just to give you a little example of his great stuff is he did this great Griffith Observatory model for Bricks LA this year. It was the con model. He always does these amazing things. All right? So excited to get to hang out with him, and guess what? We're not even going to be doing Lego. He's going to help me get my resin printer set up, and we're going to do some 3D printing. So that is going to be a good time, I think. So yeah, nothing like hanging out with friends. In person even, which we haven't gotten to do in quite some time outside of a very small circle of people. What do we got today? We've got building. We've got Lego news. We've got, what else have we got? We've got pins. We've got, I can't say it out loud because he'll come running. He'll think it's time. He's already just like placed by the table here just in case I was to say something. But there you go. So let me see here what we've got going on. So there we go. All right, so just wanted to why don't we kick off with some let's kick off with some pins. Pins? What do you think? Pins? Okay, here, let's start off with a pin. So this was a pin. Now, I got a bunch of pins at Disneyland when I was there last, like a little bag of them, and I'm not able to I don't know what's going on. Like, I wasn't able to find them. But I do have this pin, which I got before we left, from the awesome Kim, a.k.a. Zarakino, sent me a bunch of pins. And so this is the one that I've got going on today. It's so good. Whoa. Everything's pushing backwards. There we go. It is this awesome Haunted Mansion pin with the bride from the attic in it. Really, really cool. All right. Do love this one. As you know, I'm a huge Haunted Mansion aficionado, if you will. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on. And here, in just a minute, we are going to start saying hello to everybody in the chat. So make sure and say, give an ahoy howdy in the chat so I know that you're here and I can say hello. But there you go. So good one today, right? I think so. I'm in need of extra coffee time today. Extra coffee time. Look at all those amazing hellos coming through. I love that. Now I'm sitting here. I've been building this week. We've been doing more building, so my table is strewn with tan lavender and light lavender bricks, which we'll get to in a little bit about why we're doing that. Oh, you know what I wanted to show you? This is really cool. Now, I know a lot of people probably already know about this, but you know that there's very little, there are very few Lego plates that you can create like a circle with, but one of the plates that you can create that does have a full circle in it is this. Now we are going to be using this for our Lego house piece to continue our commitment to trying to have many of the different themes represented in our piece. We'll see. Oh, thank you, Two Humble Bricks. That's so sweet. But this, in case you don't recognize it, is from Lego Dimensions. This is from the Lego Dimensions, little thing that you hooked up to your TV there, and this was the place where the little bit would come out that you would insert your little discs that would make the figs come to life. So really cool Dimensions piece. And in one of our bits, Richard really wanted to do a whirlpool of water, like in the ocean. So I found this piece, and we're going to be able to hopefully drop in one of those Spinjitzu swirly cone bits that looks like a whirlpool. So we're going to be putting that in there. So very excited little fun piece that I found. All right, well, let's see who is here today, everyone. We've got Two Humble Bricks is here. Brick Jedi, Chris and Jaden, Half Term Madness Chalice. Is that what it is? I'm feeling extra today, so maybe that must be what it is. Darren Siegfried is here. Hooded One, John Luttrell, and Vicky. Hello, how's it going? We've got Lego Don, who I understand isn't feeling well. Sorry you are homesick today, but I'm so glad that you could join us. I hope you feel better soon. Maraid is here, who I got to see yesterday. It was awesome. Matthew Builds Bricks. Hey, Matthew, hope you're feeling better. Kicking off the Emscapades, it's Maraid, Matthew Builds Bricks, Minifig Chick, Minifig Nick, Monica Berry, and Moto. Wow, we got long Emscapades today. We've also got Rob Zaccardi and the Zaccardis, Lana, Elena, and Vanessa. Hello, how's it going? We've got Wilfred is here. Bonsoir, Wilfred. How's it going? Oh, so good to see you. So here we go. Great to see everybody this morning. And I'm sure there will probably be other people popping in. I'll try to say hello to everybody as they come in. So we've got... here we go. So we've got some... I think I mentioned before that we have some Lego news. So what do you say? Shall we head over to the Lego news? We've done pins already, so I think it's Lego news time. All right. Lego news. All right, so we had two big set announcements this week. Now, we had kind of already seen a teaser for this one. This one's for all you Technic fans. We've got the Mclaren Formula One Team 2022 car, Technic car. It looks very fancy. It looks very orange and blue, and it looks very Technic. And I'm interested actually in those hubcaps that are like completely flat. That must be a new piece because I've never seen those before, but you never know. I think things are new often, and everybody's like, that's been out for 50 years. Okay. Anyway, Mclaren Formula One, I know a lot of people, a lot of Technic people, a lot of car people are really, really excited about this. So congratulations, you have a new car. Next up is one that was announced yesterday, and because every time something new comes out, there has to be some kind of hullabaloo. But I know that there are a lot of people really, really excited about this one, and a lot of people who probably aren't. But the Spice Girls Brickheadz. Now, I gotta say, I sense Matthew Ashton's fingers in this one somehow. But there are Spice Girls Brickheadz, and I think this is hilarious. Like, personally, like, I was kind of, I know their music, but I was not really into them. But I was into them as just kind of like icons. And I thought that was really fun. And they've done such a great job of recreating them. Now I was talking about the hoopla earlier. The first thing I saw yesterday, the first thing I saw yesterday was somebody on Twitter complaining that Lego was out of touch and what the Spice Girls are ridiculous and nobody will want it. And I gotta say, like, okay, that's your opinion, but it doesn't, you know what? Every set is not made for you. Like, every set, there's sets for all kinds of people and all kinds of generations and ages. So I know that the people will be, a lot of people will be really excited about that, especially people of a certain age. So I find them really fun, and I see some cool pieces, like definitely that Union Jack shirt. Those, because it looks like maybe it's two separate tiles, like the same on half, right? And then I love the sort of giraffe or leopard print. Sorry, leopard print that Mel B is wearing is pretty great. So there you go. But there is and I gotta say, like, they're fun, and they definitely evoke the characters. I mean, like, you know who that is as soon as you see them. But I'll definitely say the Posh Spice one is it's a little, I mean, I know that's what she wore and all, but wow, it's a little just kind of, what did you call it? The Ali Sheedy from the Breakfast Club? Except for she did have bangs. Anyway, I think that, like I said, there'll probably be a lot of people that enjoy this, both of these sets, but not necessarily my thing, either one. But I am glad that they exist for the people who will be excited about them. So that is the Lego news. And hey, yeah, let's get back over here. Hey, Lego news. So that was pretty. It's pretty silly set, but I think it'll be really fun. All right. So next up, what are we gonna do before we actually start doing any building today? We do have another one of our features. Oh, you're right. There is the Jurassic Park sets that are coming out, but we will discuss that on Sunday, because that's definitely something that I want to discuss with our panel, and I don't want to necessarily like repeat a bunch of things, but yeah, there is a new Jurassic World, sorry, not Jurassic Park, Jurassic World set that got announced today that I know a lot of people are also going to be really, really excited about. So looking forward to seeing that. And let's see if it looked pretty epic, I gotta say. It looks really, really cool. But we will, like I said, we'll take a more of a closer look at that on Sunday. All right, so let me see here real quickaroo. Okay, hang on. Okay, doing all the, sorry, making sure I got hit all the ones. Oh, it's okay. Jurassic Park is in Jurassic World, indeed. It is. It's all part of it, right? So, oh yes, we are going to, chowing down on leftover Indian right now. Oh, yes. Yum. We had delicious egg sandwiches that Richard made this morning. But anyway, it is actually time for one of our special features. What's going on, Logan? It's not time for you yet. That's still half an hour away, but soon. He's very He's all ready. All right. So, what is it time for? Oh, it's time for our very special feature, Thing from the Crypt. Okay, it's time for Thing from the Crypt. No, that's not you yet. It's not time for you. No, it's not time. In a little bit, though. But everybody's excited to see you, I'm sure. Are you chiming in on Thing from the Crypt? All right, time to go. Anyway, yes, it's time for Thing from the Crypt. So, now, I can't remember if I've showed this already or not, but I've got two things, so just in case I showed this one already. This was a gift from Holly for Christmas. Now, I'm going to take it out of its plastic wrapping because I am bold that way. But as you know, Richard and I are big Dungeons and Dragons fans. We play, we were playing 2 times a week during the pandemic. But so we got this awesome puzzle from her for Christmas. And it is, I gotta say, pretty epic. I mean, look at that. Here, there we go. There, that's much better. Check it out. So Dungeons and Dragons, it's a puzzle with this great, like, old school Dungeons and Dragons art on it. And it still says TSR. And I think this is from 1983. Yes, 1983. Elmore, this was the artist on this one. Right now, the thing that's there's actually a really great documentary on, I believe, on Amazon Prime right now, all about the art of Dungeons and Dragons. And so if you're interested in stuff like that, you should definitely check it out, because there's some really great stuff in there. Lots of great, like, you get to meet some of the artists and they talk about some of the ones that aren't with us anymore. But it's a really, really fantastic piece. So yes, it would be a cool t-shirt. Yes, actually it would be perfect. So yeah, anyway, that is, that's Thing from the Crypt number 1. Yeah! All right. And then the other thing is, now some people will know what this is, some people will not know what this is, but check this out. Does anybody know? I'm sure some of you know what this is. This is a very, very old Lego piece. It's like a Lego ruler. And this was put out by Lego ages ago. And it has never been seen since. So it's got a place where you can measure axles, so you can, like, drop axles in here, right? And then it's got a stud measure, so you can put it on, like on a brick. Now, I'm going to tell you a little secret about this, right? This ruler is not the actual ruler. This is a 3D print that a friend of mine made and gave to me at Bricks LA, because I was handing out my brick rings, and he's like, "You need something for all those brick rings." He 3D printed this, and not only did he 3D print this, but he went through with calipers and the real item and did all the exact measurements on this thing. So it is actually accurate, but I didn't have to pay $100 for it. So, yeah, so pretty cool, I gotta say. I think it's a pretty cool little thing. I gotta say, like, I'm at the point now where I can look at, I don't know. I don't need this necessarily, because I can look at an axle and pretty much tell you what size it is, because I've been using axles for so long. And same thing with bricks and stuff. But it's still a fun little token to have. So there you go. Things from the Crypt. It should have said the things from the Crypt, but yeah. All right. There we go. All right, so let's get down to the main event, shall we? Now, there may be a little bit of getting up, but I'm going to try not to get up too much. Oh, honey, dark blue and dark purple? Here comes the thing from the crypt now.
Well, if we can make it work, I don't really see dark purple anywhere else.
We don't have it anywhere else, and it would help. It would match with the purple that we're doing in the undersea part.
Well, so do we do?
You're hearing the artistic discussion as we go along.
So do we do blue, purple, dark purple, and maybe what do we use for a highlight in there?
I'm not sure. I'll look while we're going over stuff. Anyway, just thought I'd put that out there.
Yeah, and that'll go really well with the lime green of the river Styx.
It will. You're right. Spooky, our favorite purple and green color. So somebody was just asking if this is the ruler and system. It is. It's perfectly perfect. Like I can put it on the bricks on the things, and it's perfectly done. He did an amazing job on it. So there you go. Anywho, so for those of you that keep up with my Twitch streams will know that part of what I worked on the other day was starting to build up the rock detail work on the undersea and like Poseidon's throne room area. And it was really cool. I had a lot of fun doing it. And we hit on what I think is a pretty great color combination. So we are doing tan, lavender or medium lavender and light lavender all together. So this is kind of our color scheme for Poseidon's throne room, for the rock work on the back. Right? So I think this is going to be really good. So now what we were just discussing is what color combination am I going to use the ruler in the Lego house build? I wish. I wish there was some way to use it. I'm not quite sure that there is, but... Lego Don asked, it's so funny, we keep coming back to this. What's the hook on the end for? That is actually for you to be able to measure a Technic lift arm. So the Technic lift arm has the curved end rather than the straight end. And the measure up here is for that. So you could technically put that in there and rest on it and then see how big it is. So, yeah. There you go. If we do use it hooded one, it would have to be hidden because they don't allow non-real Lego parts in the model. I don't know that I don't think that one counts as real. So anyway, so those are our three colors for undersea, and then we were talking about the underworld, which is kind of like the bigger part of the bottom half of our model, and you can kind of see here. Here's the undersea part, which is about maybe a little more than a third of it. And then the other 2/3 is all the underworld part. So this is the Poseidon's throne room. And then we've got the underworld under there. So we were talking about the underworld and talking about colors. Like what colors would be in the underworld. And I was initially thinking that there would be a lot of black. We were going to do, we want to have some lava flow coming down, some red, obviously lit up inside there as a highlight. But Richard made a really good point, and he's like, well, black is so black. Like, what if we go for something that is not entirely black? And who was it that you referenced that didn't use black? Ansel Adams?
Oh, yeah. Two things. Sorry.
I told you he'd be here.
In. Two things. First of all, Disney often made their shadows in the tones of their bright colors.
Yes.
Right? And also Ansel Adams, who in his zone system reserved the whitest whites and the blackest blacks, especially. And if you have a lot of black throughout your piece, then how do you make a darker shadow than that?
Very good. So yes, so
That's kind of the most. I'm sure people know a lot more about Ansel Adams than me, but if we use the zone system here and have a whole range of tonalities,
fancy art talk. So anyway, that said, so we've decided to dispense with black as the darkest color in the underworld, especially because it sucks up so much light, right?
It's going to be underneath a roof.
Yeah, and it's underneath, like Richard says, a roof, so it's going to be covered over. So we are going to decide. We've decided to go with dark blue, and I got my dark blue, and I think that Lego actually calls it earth blue, but that's what we're going to be working. That's what we're going to be working with for the underworld. The dark, this dark blue color. As well as we just decided, purple, which I think will look really good. The dark blue, the dark purple, and then we will probably choose some kind of third color to go over it. So we kind of have a system when we're building things, especially when it comes to like rock work and landscaping, and it's something that we kind of developed while we were doing Snake Queen, and that is we try and pick a couple of colors, and then we would do the we set rules. So basically we start off with the large structure, as you know, then we go down to like sort of like the details, or like the medium details, like the rocks and stuff. And then from there, we go into the little details, like sprinkling in, lighter colors, smaller pieces, just a kind of thing. So it's like going from big to medium to small. So that's kind of what we're working with here. So we'll go ahead and lay out all the bigger stuff first, and then better. So, and remember too, we are Wilfred, blue won't be too close to what you're using for the C. No, the C is actually going to be regular blue, regular Lego blue, and the underworld is going to be the dark blue. And by the time it gets lit with all because we're lighting it with black light underneath there, we have some custom made black light LEDs. It's going to really change the way it all looks. So, we may get down the road and decide like, oh, you know what? That's not working. Like maybe we need to rework this. So that's just what we're going for now. And also, we're really going for using sort of Fantasia as a color and design style guide when we're doing this. So color is really important. We just watched the sequence again last night, the pastoral, and it's just what we're gonna we'll see. It may work, it may not work, but you never know until you try. So that's how we're doing that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and pull over. Wow, you are very insistent today, Logan. He is so ready for his big entrance. I'm going to move some of this stuff. What's going on?
I know I was busy working. Did he get breakfast?
Yes.
Well, you're just being insistent, aren't you?
Yes, he wants those snacks.
You noticed they're there.
All right, so this was kind of what I was working on Tuesday on the Twitch stream. Sorry, I'm gonna get some extra pieces around there. Hey, Brickham's Den, how's it going? Hey, Zach Martinez, great to see you. So I'll go ahead down to the top cam. So here is what I've done. Now I gotta say, this is a little bright for me. I'm gonna tone down the color here a little bit. Let me see what I can do here. Or tone down the brightness a little bit. Whew, yeah, that was really That's really, really bright. I may also be able to look at my top camera here and do a little bit of adjustment. So give me just a second while I do this. We're gonna. It's just it's kind of blowing out everything, and I need a little bit better. Whoa, nope, that's too dark. All right. I guess we're just going with this. We will live with what this is. So that is our, I'll zoom in a little bit. But you can see that's what the lavender and tan and light lavender starts to look like. And if you've seen, if you remember earlier when we talked about, or say earlier, when I say earlier, I mean like 2 years ago, when we talked about doing rock work, you can see that we've applied all those principles to this particular bit of rock work, using different size slopes, trying to turn them around and make them different. And you can see we're just they got the Duplo in the background, and then we've got our just like regular, are starting to do our medium-sized bricks here.
Hey, Flynn. Yesterday I pointed out that the height of the inverse slopes there stops us from using Technic plates on the top of those columns, and you came up with a...
Yes. So...
what was that solution?
To take the Duplo off and put regular bricks on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, it may not be immediately obvious to everyone, but then we're back in system again.
Yeah. So Richard makes a good point. Like, I had built this up to the level of the Duplo brick here. Is Richard getting any work done at all? I have no idea.
Putting headphones on.
He's putting headphones on now. But yeah, so he made a good point that once we get up to this level, then we can no longer use, like regular plates, because regular system plates will not work with Duplo. So what we're going to have to do here is remove these and then replace them with regular system bricks, which, what did I do with my regular system bricks? Here we go. Here, we'll just use some of these. We can use white, and that's totally acceptable, because we're probably not going to see this anyway. And you can see there's our 2 this way, and then we'll do another 2 the other direction. Now, we'll be able to put that... And I think that's the thing too, right? Like when you're building like this, and when you're building a big tall structure, you're gonna have to change and adjust. Well, you're gonna have to move. You're gonna have to end up moving things around. Here's one of the kind of, I don't know, bugaboos a little bit about doing this in these sections like this. So this section is Poseidon's throne room, and then we have a second section over here. Now this second section is going to fit in to this one, right? And here I'm going to go ahead and take off this platform for the moment. This is sort of, that's the other thing. The Duplo is a lot easier to take off of the stand than the other one. So what we've got is, oh, thanks, Brickheadz, appreciate that. This is what we've got so far. So what I didn't take into account was that, you can see that I kind of started building this wall over here. Well, the undersea wall goes over here. So when you're building in 2 different sections like this, it's always best to kind of build those sections next to each other. Like, I probably should have had this so that I know, like, oh, okay, I need to stop this here and then continue it on the other side. All right. And I'm sure that there will be a certain amount of people who will be excited about this. I know I am. you all recall this amazing piece of fabulousness that we got from our friend Gwyneth at Bricks LA, and it is the seahorse from a Belleville set. And what we've decided is, so what's going to happen is there's going to be a whole roof piece that comes out over top of all of this. And so you'll sort of be looking into a little theater, right? Like to see inside. And what we decided is that we're going to sort of frame the picture with two of these seahorses. So we're going to get another one that's going to go on the other side facing in, and they're going to be lit with black light, so they should glow. So when you look inside, these two little seahorses will be framing it. And I think that's just so perfect for I just think that's so perfect for Poseidon's throne room, is to have these big kind of like fabulous seahorses. So excited. Hello, Marilyn. How's it going? You were thinking about the Duplo structures the other day. Won't they connect the mills together so it'd be hard to separate the mills? No, because as you can see, the platform that we have here only extends to the ends of the mills plates. So it will always connect together. Right, like these will never be connected. There will always be kind of a line here that connects the two things together. So that is, yeah. So again, I should have taken into consideration that we had this other piece, but I wasn't thinking about it. But that's the other thing too. So what I like to do when I'm building like this is keep them connected, but a little bit separated, so I can make sure that I'm creating separate pieces. Now, I can't remember if we showed this on the show before or not, but one of the things that you can do, we talked about with doing mills, is that you can kind of, the fun thing about it is you can dig out below the surface. And what we wanted to do here was just kind of create an area of interest, so that everything is just not like a flat surface. So we did the bottom plates in dark tan and created like a sort of dug down area, and decided that we would have sort of Poseidon on his throne over here, and this is sort of like the mermaid lounge area. So yeah, so we're going to extend that over there. And then the other thing we did, and I'm going to move this one off to the side just for the moment, is we started digging out the river Styx. And here is the next section that we're going to add on, and you can see that now we definitely did this one connected together. And and there definitely were a few times where we're like, uh-oh, we've crossed over, like we've crossed the mills plates. We're going to have to do something different here. So yeah, Darren, I love the idea of that, the Poseidon chariot. However, I know they're just about to do that with the Little Mermaid set, and also there's not a whole lot of room, unfortunately, for that. And we're also going to have Apollo with his chariot over by the sun, and I think he's going to kind of cover our chariot needs for the piece. Now you can see that we have big ugly rock pieces here, and this is mostly like, these probably are not going to remain intact because they're not going to be in our particular color scheme, but we use them to kind of block out where we think the walls might be, and shows us kind of what our play areas are. And when I say play area, I mean like the area where a scene is going to happen, whether it's going to be, Hades on his throne, which is going to happen in this area, or the Charon, the ferryman, which is going to happen around in this area, and then this play area, which is going to be Hephaestus's forge. And you can see that we kind of started laying out where the lava will drip out into, or flow out into his forge, which will be kind of this area. And we still need to fill in this a little bit, but those are kind of like, when I say play area, that's kind of what I'm referring to. So, and also we have to consider that we're going to be building some kind of staircase in here that is going to go kind of up where Persephone will, you know, be leaving the underworld to come out out from the volcano. But that's a whole nother thing. Volcano / mountain. Anyway, so I was just showing you how we kind of dug out the river Styx, and I'm just realizing too that I was talking about using purple for the rock work in the underworld, and I just realized that we've already kind of established purple as a color in holding up some of these angled plates. I don't know if you can actually see it or not, but hi, Brock. No, you probably can't. But underneath of here, in order to not have square bricks, we've used 1x1 plates. Okay, and so we used dark purple as there, and it's a nice little pop against the lime green. So, and once again, I know I've probably mentioned this before, but we have incorporated a method here that we learned from Sam Hatmaker that we were on Lego Masters with, and that is when he does these mosaics, he doesn't actually press down the plates. He just loosely puts them in place until he has them like he wants them, and then presses them all down so that we're not, you're not constantly digging up plates if you've, done it wrong or whatever. Hey, Brian is here. How's it going? Bricks O'Brien, our special guest on this Sunday's show. He'll be coming over and hanging out with us. Excited to have him back on, so that'll be a good time. What will be the length of the lower section for base plate length? It is 90 centimeters, which I'm terrible with my conversions, but I know that it's 90 centimeters, and I believe it's about 3.5 base plates wide, something like that. I would have to double check those measurements. You can tell that Richard has his headphones on, or he would be in here telling us what the measurements are. Exactly. So, so that's kind of where we've come to. Now, there's going to have to be some kind of retaining wall that kind of happens in between. And that's the thing too, right? Like it's very hard to do all of this completely literally all the way through, because there has to be some artistic license taken with the way that we lay things out. So there's going to have to be some sort of yes, the underworld doesn't necessarily go right into, right into the under the ocean. Like that's not a thing that happens, but we have to take some artistic license and put some kind of retaining wall between the underworld and the ocean, under the ocean, Poseidon's throne room, so that we have a way to sort of transition between the two. 3.5 base plates. Was I right? Did I say 3.5? Yeah. 3.5 base plates. Very good. Thank you, Chick, for filling in for Richard and his measurements. Much appreciated. That is, so that's kind of the progress we've made over the past couple of weeks. And I want to start doing, I wanted to start today working on some of the rock work for the underworld to kind of see how that was gonna play out. Now, part of that is going to mean that I need to readjust, and I'm going to set this aside for the moment. I'm going to have to readjust how I have done the wall here, right? So this wall is going to obviously have to kind of curve up and come all the way over to this part, all right? And we are going to, let's see. So I've got I need to kind of rework this a little bit, and it's going to require taking out some. And so in case you were wondering how we kind of start off with this stuff, is I use bricks to kind of terrace up where I think I want the pieces to go. And then from there, I just kind of start building my pieces on top of it, like my slopes and stuff on top. So let's go ahead and, dispense with these. Now I almost feel like this has come up a little bit too far. So maybe I'm gonna pop this out and bring this over this way a little bit. And like this. This was originally our back. Swans in. Hello, Abby the Brick Squirrel. How's it going? Hello, Albert Lee. Ahoy, hoy. Moto. It is my new thesis. So, Two Humble Bricks, how tall will it be? Right now, we've kind of capped it at about between 70 and 80 centimeters. It really depends on how all the things work out proportionally, like once we see the back start getting built up. But that's about, yeah, we're looking at like 70 to 80 centimeters up, because we have plenty of room, like from the bottom of our piece up to the top of the case, like we have a lot of room. But the thing is, like, we want to make it so that people will be able to like kind of like crunch down and look inside. Oh, you're right, Monica. It is in fact that time. And I'm sure Logan is going to be very excited to know that it is finally time for his favorite special part of the day. So you can see there, I've already reconnected or, rebuilt these areas. And I'm going to build this back a little bit more. Because the one thing that you do have to remember is when you're doing terracing, that you have to leave extra room for, you have to compensate for the size of the slopes, right? So it's going to come out even further than this. So make sure that you're doing your terracing kind of a little further back than you need it. All right. So that said, it's time, friends. Oh, you know what? I just realized that it's time for that time, and there's not a thing here for that particular time. So, please enjoy this upper view of our piece, and I'll be right back. Okay, it is that time. All right, everybody, and I'm going to break this up ahead. No, you're early. You'll be there in a minute. Go on. No, you have to get ready for your entrance down here. Here we go. All right, friends, it's that special time of day. It's time for the pause that refreshes. It's Logan Cookie Time. Okay, there we go. All right, here it is. And 1, 2, 3. Wow, you are so good at that. You're so good at that, and you're not slobbering on it just yet. All right, and another one. And 1, 2. I didn't throw it yet. 1, 2, 3. Yay, Logan. Wait, there's more. Come on. Oh, no. That's the model. Okay, here we go. He's helping put bricks down. And here we go. Oh, there's the slobber. There's the slobber, my little slobbery boy. All right, and 1, 2, 3. Yay! You are the best cookie catcher ever. That's it. He's done. He's like, okay, you're done. I'm finished. And that, everybody, has been Logan Cookie Time. Okay, there we go. All right. Yay, Logan Slobber. There you go. That's what I get to see all the time. All right. So back to this these shenanigans here. So you can see I've kind of like built in my started to build in my wall here. Hello, Ms. Slow Brickta, and Zonker Harris is here, and Shane Levan. Wow, this is great. Like, everybody's popping in. Great to see you all. You can see here that I'm working on working on the underworld and undersea portions of our model. Wilfred says, at one point, wasn't there a column to separate the frame and the sea world and the underworld? Yeah, so that column was really just to kind of represent that we would have some kind of wall there. There doesn't need to necessarily be a column. However, it is true that we could put, because there's no actual separation here. If we really wanted to be, make sure that things were sturdy, where's all of our columns? Oh, I don't know what happened to, well, yeah, we could actually like build a column into the rockwork. So there's a nice one big, solid one. Hey, Brickheadz is here. How's it going? Hi, great to see ya. Yeah, I'm doing well. Just here, trying to figure out some building things between our underworld and our thing. Hey, Julia Hornberger. Hi, Julia. How's it going? Wow, it's so great to see everybody. Everybody's flying in. We've got so we're gonna start looking at some of these now. Personally, I wish we had more dark blue brick. Look at that. You can see all of our studio and the computer. You can see all the backstage stuff. I wish that we had more dark blue bricks, but what we do have is a plethora of purple bricks. And a lot of the slopes that we have, unfortunately, in dark blue are sort of 2x4 ones. So we're gonna have to work a little bit to make this happen. But I'm gonna grab purple. And you can see here we've got our various shades of purple split up here, but we're gonna use the purple. And I'm also gonna pop and see if, because there was a certain point where usually we're pretty good about keeping all of our pieces one way, but you never know, and sometimes, sometimes I'm finding that there are actually dark blues in our sort of dark family of bricks down here. So I might be able to find some other blues. But what's really important is that we have bricks, right? Because we're gonna need those bricks to sort of like fill up thing. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Brickheadz. Thank you. Appreciate that. Right. All right. So we're gonna let's start looking at some purple. So I'm gonna use purple to start kind of filling in our, and you know what? I think I'm actually gonna do this because I need a little bit of extra room here. Because you can see the river Styx comes pretty close to the edge, and I don't want it to be, I don't want the river to be squashed right up against the wall. But I'm gonna go ahead and use some purple here to fill in. And I can use some 1x's. They don't necessarily have to be 2x's. But I think it's always good to have a little bit of extra room there. And we have lots of purple 1x's. So I can kind of generally lay out what I think. Oh, this is such a great color. I wish we had more of this. We can kind of generally lay out what we think this is going to look like. Now, and you can see this is where we're going to kind of fill in here with some slopes, and so I think I'm going to move this one back a little bit more. Hi.
It's not the one I was looking for.
Oh, and I also wanted to show you too, we didn't want to do a kind of, we didn't want to make just like a rock wall that ended flat at the top. So you can see that we started using some arches and inverse slopes to create a kind of vaulted sort of a vaulted ceiling look so that it curves around when it gets up by the ceiling.
Can I ask you a question and then I'll get busy again?
Yes.
What if these were snotted on upside down so that they become inverse curves like this for a vaulted ceiling?
Yeah, we could probably do that. Yeah. I think we also have we have purple arches too somewhere. Anyway, but like I said, what we don't have is a lot of bricks in the dark blue. So I'm definitely going to have to be keeping my eyes out for that.
You can waste the slope in the back.
Oh, look at that. Oh, look at all these slopes. See, remember I told you we keep dark.
You gotta take the whole container though, because I gotta go.
No, you have to stand here and hold it.
We should train Logan to hold it.
Oh, in his mouth? Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, look at this. We actually have a bunch of... See, this is what comes from overdoing it when you're separating. I've got like dark blue slopes in multiple locations, which I should probably fix before we start doing too much. But again, it's okay if those background pieces are dark blue. And what Richard says is true. We can actually use some of these slopes to create, like, especially if we use them backwards, to kind of like fake a wall back here. All right. Okay, Cara, we will be here for sure. All right, and now I'm gonna start kind of building where I think these walls are gonna go. I mean, I know we're definitely gonna have wall that comes along here. And once again, we're gonna be moving around the corner of this Duplo-ness. So, and I don't want the rocks to come directly right up to the edge of the water. So it actually might be better to fill in with some 1x rather than like something along these lines. To kind of begin our terracing like that. And what's going to happen is there's going to be a cave mouth right here that goes over. And I actually think that we don't need to have it be that wide. Like, it can be narrower to kind of give like a forced perspective look, like when you go down, so it looks like it's getting like narrower as it goes down. That's the Lego equivalent of a curl in every port. All right. There we go. All right, a little bit there. Now, I already did some work on this, so I'm going to get rid of this one for now and bring back this one so I can lay out our pieces. And as long as I just got to remember that I've got a gap here, and so I don't want to overlap the gap. Don't overlap the gap, friends, or else you will find yourself in trouble. Now, what I have a lot of is 1x2s in purple, and thankfully we took apart recently our our race car that we had made. It looks like we need a little bit. There we go. Now I can start kind of making it a little bit wiggly. And I'll have to make sure that I make it a little bit wiggly here as well. We were talking about wiggly the other day. Maybe that'll work, right? So it's always good, I think, in your terracing to start building in sections that go in and out so you don't end up with a straight line. All right. You oversort modified plates. I know. It's hard not to, right? Yeah, so I think it's good to sort of like build in those in and outs so that you kind of start creating a sense of Now I know for sure that Charon is going to be here, the ferryman. So I can actually afford to come out a little bit further with these bricks. I feel I can like build outward so that we actually have a wall that kind of goes in and comes out and sort of follows the river. I'm gonna do maybe like that. And and I'm sure all of us do this, but I just sort of randomly throw things down. This is printed actually. It's the night bus. See, so all themes will end up being represented in here in some way. I just gotta make sure there. Yes, it's not showing, so we're totally good on that account. And then maybe I'll finish up here with Hephaestus's forge. Now, there's definitely going to be some places where where it's not going to work as well, right? Where we're going to have to fudge it. So just be ready to fudge, is what I'm saying, I suppose. How long do you have to finish this build? Until September. So we have quite a while. Hello, Waxsplat. How's it going? We have until September, and much like y'all probably don't know this, but much like we did when we were doing Treasure of the Snake Queen, we would spend hours and hours on the weekends working on how this was all going to work out, like a ridiculous amount of time, so much time. Like we've burned many meals. We've burned many meals. We've done, gotten a lot of delivery because we were just like, you know what, don't have time to stop and cook. Like, let's just keep on working. And that definitely happened a lot. We had a lot of that. So we have a fair amount of time, and really just excited, to be excited about building again, right? Like, I have to say that over the pandemic and the time that we were doing the show, I often found it very difficult to want to build. So it's nice to be back in a place where I feel like, oh, I'm excited to build again. Delivery is always a great idea when working on a project. Yes, I 100% agree. It's kind of necessary sometimes. It's good that you're starting now, but that deadline will sneak up on you before you realize it. It will, and I also know that we spent 6 months working on Snake Queen, and it was a massive undertaking. Like, it was a huge project. Now this is smaller, not only smaller than Snake Queen, but it doesn't include all of the mechanics that we had to include in Snake Queen, and that was really where we found was a lot of the build time. Like, out of that 6 months, we must have spent at least 2 months just tweaking the electronics and making sure there's that everything could sweep through the right way and that minifigures weren't going to get knocked off. And so I feel pretty confident in our ability to make this happen by the time it needs to happen. So thankfully, not feeling too fussed about that. All right, so let's see. That's gonna start adding in some of this dark blue, and I'm really a huge fan of these dark blue bricks. I think it's such a cool color, and one that we don't use very often. So, Wilfred, very good. Yes, speaking of building, there is in fact a a winter sports themed challenge happening right now. It is a 2-week challenge, and we are kind of in the middle of those 2 weeks. So do make sure that you're working on your winter challenge there, or winter sports challenge. I think it's going to be a good one. You have until next week to get those done. And so what I'm trying to do here now is kind of what we tried to do with the other piece, and that was, or the Poseidon section, and that is kind of build in veins of color through here. Hey Les, how's it going? Good to see you. Is trying to build in veins of color. So instead of having like just random dark blue and purple, we want to do mostly dark blue with some veins of purple running through it, kind of like real rocks, right? That's what we did. That's what we did over here. You can see where we tried to focus, right? Like I created a line here with these colors. Same thing generally over here, right? There's a kind of, you can sort of follow the colors through. And I don't mean make stripes, like you need to definitely break them up a little bit, but that's definitely one of our little tricks, is kind of building in these veins of color, if you will. So let's go ahead and keep on keeping on here, keep on building on, if you will. And it's important to make sure that you're also not just putting all of your bits going the same direction. I'm going to brighten this up just a hair because I think it feels a little light and you're not really being able to see the colors. There you go. Right, so you can see where I love that blue and purple look together is really nice. I mean, it's dark, but good. Now, if I wanted to do further, terracing, these big ugly rock pieces are fantastic. Even if you're not going to see them, look at all the different levels of terracing they already have built in. And what a great way to kind of get a jump start on your terracing by including in something like that. Because you're automatically going to be able to really decorate, even if you're not necessarily seeing it, right? Like you'll be able to decorate along here. The only problem with it is that if you want to do any slopes that are sideways like this, it's going to show through. Like you're going to see that, right? Like you're going to see that dark gray. So maybe at this particular level, this isn't exactly what we want to be using, but I just wanted to show you that is a way that you can do it. Are we excited for Lego Masters Season 3? Yes, it's always going to be fun to invite new members of the Lego Masters family. So excited to see that and who's going to be on this season. I know that they're casting. I don't know how far they've gotten with the casting or any of that, but looks like it's going to be it'll be a good time. So yeah. And also too, these are great little pieces, especially if you're unsure on how to get like the corner look that you're looking for, is this. What are your thoughts on Lego's new color, Vibrant Yellow? It is awesome. And I actually have right here some dots, and you can see that neon yellow color. And it fluoresces under black light, which is really, really cool. So we're definitely going to be using some of that neon yellow in our new piece. I love these. This is from the gamer bracelet and has like the game over tile and some of the other ones, but yeah. But yeah, so definitely these corner pieces are fantastic for doing, like rounding out your corners when you want to have something like that, because it can be, you can create a corner with square bricks, but having these little extra corner slopes are really good. All right, just gonna keep on working here. Maybe I'm gonna move this one back a little bit. Like that feels pretty good to me. Like that feels pretty solid. Like we're really starting to get a nice look here, right? I really enjoy. And you can see too, I've also got some of these tall slopes in the corner style that I'll be able to incorporate into this as well to give you know, a nice cornered look. Now, I will say, even though it seems like you might be able to get away with just, you know, not filling that in, always fill it in, especially if you're going to be going over, like part of it's not going to be supported here because I've used this slope right next to this corner piece, but it's also important to have those weird little nooks and crannies. So make sure that you've filled in so that at least three of your bit studs are supported. And here I'm gonna do another. I need like a long slope. Like, to me, this is starting to get a little bit too regular, and I don't want it to be too square all the way. So you put out all the mini face scale builds from the Lego Star Wars Advent Calendar from last year together, and it looks really cool. Oh, very nice. Yes, exactly. Always fill in your inner structure, even though it feels like you don't have to. And of course, for us, it's especially important because we're going to be, you know, shipping this to Europe. So we've definitely got that to deal with. Wow, I really want some, there we go, longer slopes to create a nice, like, look. And then we can kind of go back to our regular size. There. And now it feels like maybe it's time for some sideways. Now, one thing I am missing, I gotta say, is single, like, 1x width slopes. There's not a whole lot of them in here. There's some. Oh, look, this is a nice long one. Sideways there. And maybe we'll bring that out, because we're going to be filling, I know that we're going to be filling this in with another one of these angled pieces. I'm just like looking for it right now. And that's what's going to go in there. And again, we may find that we need to do that, right? Are you only using square bricks, or also 1x1 or 2x2 bricks and 1x1 round tiles? We will probably do, I don't know if we'll use round in the Underworld part, but I think we will probably end up using some rounds to sprinkle in throughout the undersea part to kind of give them a different architectural look, because we definitely want them to feel different. So I'm trying to save my rounder bits for those. All right. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. All right. Oh, look, I got another corner piece. I love these corners. There we go. And now we just need a couple of more of the small ones to make it look right, like the one wide. I mean, I know it seems weird, but it is absolutely true that you have to kind of plan the chaos a little bit. I know that seems incongruous, if you will, but you really do need to kind of pre-plan those. You really kind of have to pre-plan the chaos a little bit. Like, I know I want this to look chaotic, but I also have to think about, you know, I mean, you can just randomly put bricks down. Like, that's totally legit. Like, that's a totally fine way to do it. The only problem is, and what you'll find, and at least what we've found, is that doesn't always work. You can lay something down that you think looks like this is a really great piece, hoping for more of these, because I feel like with some snot pieces like these, like pointy bits put on, right? So adding some of these pointy bits on, or even down here. Now, the thing is, you don't want to, well, I mean, maybe you do. I can't tell you what you should or shouldn't do as far as, like, your building is concerned, but I should say for us, if I was going to use this pointy brick, which I think is really cool and I think has merit and could look really amazing at the base of this, is that I need to find others. Because you don't want just one, right? Like you want to have a couple of these. You're going to want to have a couple of these placed around so it's not an anomaly. Because when it becomes an anomaly, that's where people are going to look. They're going to look at that one thing that's different from all the other stuff. Unless you're trying to obviously, point out, like, hey, look here, having something. And it's funny. It may get completely lost within your, like, once you build this all up, it might end up getting completely lost within it. But you'd be surprised what can really stick out even amongst like a big random rockwork wall. Things that repeat too much, and then things that are like too many bricks in the same direction next to each other or something like that, and then sort of really obvious bits that stick way out that there's only one of. And that's sort of my thing. All right. So continuing, here we go. Here's a nice one. Now, somebody mentioned earlier dark green. I do like dark green, but I feel like now we're getting lost in all the darks. And that, like Richard was saying earlier, we're going to need to come up with a sort of a lighter color, like a contrast color, to be able to put in. So in the undersea, we have the tan, the dark purple, or the dark lavender, and the light lavender.
Maybe we could have some like red and orange room decoration or something.
Infernal, exactly. Oh, and see, that's another thing too that I haven't quite considered yet, is that we want to have some veins of red and orange coming through. So it probably is going to mean like having some cracks where you're just seeing the yellow, red, and orange peeking through. And personally, I want to try to do them. I know we've talked about it, doing them in kind of trans colors. So
I'm sorry to butt in on that. I was thinking about the volcano last night,
mm-hmm.
and I want to do some big cracks, and we saw this at Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do some big cracks with red and orange, or trans, or translucent lit behind.
Mm-hmm.
Coming through, and we could use some of that Mark Cruikshank method of slopes against inverse slopes to create cracks.
Yeah. So, and fortunately, since we are doing that, since we are doing this kind of work, we'll be able to incorporate some of those sort of open cracks where you can kind of see through them, and I think that's a really cool idea. But let's see. But I'm starting to get to a point where I feel like, now you can see here, this is starting to become a little bit of a problem. So this is our Duplo column that's helping support what's underneath of it, but it's not giving me, like, if this was purple or dark blue, it would be giving me the right backdrop for this, but it's not giving me the right backdrop for this. So I'm going to have to push this back a little bit so I can get the colors that I want behind here. It's also important to try and incorporate inverse slopes as well, just to give you, a sort of back and forth. And I'll tell you, what I love too is putting an inverse with a regular slope on top of it, because you get these really great like pieces that jut out. And I just think that looks really spectacular. That's something that we'll have to probably do a little bit further up, right? Right. A mix of plain and trans yellow, orange, red bricks works very well with lava. Yeah. And what else works really well is the sort of the trans black, which is sort of that it looks kind of gray trans pieces that kind of look like parts that aren't as hot, right? So mixing some of those in, that's another thing that we kind of saw at Disneyland, was those sort of, it was in Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, seeing there's, like logs and things on fire and they're like burning from the inside. And there were some black and orange and red bits that I thought looked really cool. So, anywho, well, I am going to I am going to need to start looking a little closer. Ooh, I like that. See, I just got to find a couple more of those. You're absolutely not working with snot to add plate verticality and add dimensions. We might end up using some snot, but I find that the dimension that we get out of the slopes is good for us. And again, too, we're trying to create some differences in architecture, and we have a lot of here, I'm going to do this. We have a lot of sheer walls and cliffs in this piece that we're going to have to build. So the snot piecing with things sticking off of it is something that we used heavily in Snake Queen, and it makes a really great organic look. And I think that's something that we may bring into play on our cliffs that will be in the sort of above ground area. So that's what I'm looking at for those. But I think actually we're gonna wrap it up for today. It's about 11:20, and I'm feeling extra hungry, even though I had breakfast. I'm gonna need to eat some lunch soon. I think it's all the coffee is doing it to me. But so hopefully that kind of gives you an idea of how we're going to continue along with this. We'll keep going. We're having some big. We're going to have a big building session this weekend. So really looking forward to that. Another one of these sort of like getting up at 6 a.m., having coffee, and start building. That's like our big thing. So yeah, and we're definitely going to be including some of these guys in. And this might be an area where we end up using some snot, is to put in some of these inverse curve bits. All right. But yeah, it's not that we're absolutely not working with snot pieces. We just probably aren't going to do it for this particular area. But you never know. Like, this is a constantly evolving process. Like, you just never, you try one thing and maybe that is, you need something else out of it. So yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely see how it goes. That may be something that comes into it later on for sure. All right. Well, it has been another fun Friday, so it was great hanging out with everybody. Thank you all for showing up and hanging out with me today. We'll be back on Sunday with our cast of irregulars to have the Sunday lunch bunch, as I'm calling them. No, brunch bunch. Sunday brunch bunch. Yes, there you go. The Sunday brunch bunch. We'll be hanging out on Sunday with our special guest, Bricks O'Brien. And we're going to be talking with him a little bit about his amazing book that he's working on, and talking a bit about that, and with artwork by the great Kevin Hinkle, as you know, who did our logo, as you can see up there in the corner, and on all of our bits. Oh, Too Humble, you're going to be at Atlanta BrickCon. Awesome. That sounds like fun. We'll have a great time at BrickCon. Monica's got her Lego socks, so she's all ready. Now, are they socks made of Lego? Because that sounds painful. Or are they just Lego branded socks? Just curious. Or is it these socks that you fill with Lego and then walk? Never mind. That's going to a really bad place. All right. Well, thanks everybody for coming in and hanging out. And until next time, first of all, don't forget to work on that winter sports challenge. And until next time, don't forget to please stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands, wear your mask, get that vaccine, get that booster shot. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody. Happy building.